Ball, Fraser worked his way through the tour's middle and lower order as he crashed from 237 for 6 to 252 all out. Hansi Cronje top scored for South Africa. Atherton and Butcher then survived the final over of the day.
5-wicket Fraser soaked up the applause at Headingley after another performance that could turn out to be a match winner. 2 wickets in the morning and 3 in the afternoon knocked the stuffing out of the South African innings, though he did have the benefit of a few dubious decisions. England lost their way in the afternoon as Kallis and Cronje looked to take a stranglehold on the match. But the catch of the day got England going again. Acrobatics from Ramprakash had Kallis reeling. England dropped a few as well, as Rhodes and Cronje led charmed lives. And though Rhodes didn't last long, the captain at least made his half-century. He didn't make much more as Fraser got his second wind. Cronje, Pollock and Donald for a duck, wickets 3, 4 and 5. Though his last, like his first, was debatable. Definitely bat, then pad. But both sides have become used to odd decisions, and as Gough finished things off, the match was most certainly evenly poised. Ollie Foster, Sky News.
Beaten 83 as England established a 184-run lead at Headingley. He was at the crease all day after the first delivery, which sent Mike Atherton back. England closed on 206 for 4, with all the batsmen bar Atherton playing a part.
After an excellent day in the field to force themselves back into the match, it was up to England's batsmen to put the test and the series within reach. If a long opening stand between Butcher and Atherton was the plan, it all went horribly wrong with the first ball of the day. Alan Donald having the last laugh in his personal battle with the former England captain. There was more than a hint of an inside edge, but Atherton was out and England had made the worst possible start. Runs were at a premium as Hussain and Butcher dug in, the Surrey man punishing Ntindi's bad ball for a rare morning boundary. But it was Hussain's first 4 of the innings that gave England the lead. Sean Pollock tempted Butcher outside the off stump. McMillan gratefully accepted the catch, and South Africa had the wicket they wanted. The tourists thought they'd made their second breakthrough of the day, Alex Stewart edging Pollock, but a lack of communication between Kallis and McMillan cost the South Africans the wicket of the England captain, who, after riding his luck, set about the tourist attack in characteristic style. Nasser Hussain had to scramble to his half-century after hitting 7 fours to reach his 50. The Essex man's innings vital as England built a comfortable lead. Pollock claimed his second wicket of the day in the first over after tea. Alex Stewart's faintest touch carrying through to Boucher. The England captain had made 35. Mark Ramprakash got off the mark in perfect style with a 4 off Ntini. And Nasser Hussain passed a personal milestone as England began to dominate the afternoon session. His 2000th run in Test cricket came via the boundary, just as England were beginning to tighten their grip on the match. A slight delay for bad light allowed the South Africans to regroup. Sean Pollock came out to claim his 3rd wicket of the innings. Ramprakash gone for 25. Pollock's delight obvious, but the day clearly England's, and Nasser Hussain's in particular. Andy Houlihan, Sky News.
England need 2 wickets to win their first major Test series in 12 years. South Africa need 34 runs to deny them. England collapsed to be out for 240. Nasser Hussain fell 6 short of a century, and Sean Pollock and Alan Donald took 5 wickets apiece. And then South Africa was struggling at one stage on 27 for 5. In reply and second time around until a century partnership between Jonty Rhodes and Brian McMillan. But Darren Gough completed a 5-wicket haul. South Africa 185 for 8.
England started the day with inside of victory, a series win still within their grasp despite a day that saw 14 wickets fall. It was the first ball yesterday, it was the second today. Pollock claimed the night watchman in the opening over. Salisbury edging him to Boucher. England expected much from Graham Hick, but again he failed to deliver. He gave Gary Kirsten the easiest catch of the day, and his chances of a place on the Winter Ashes Tour must be in doubt after a disappointing summer. Andrew Flintoff was the next to go. Alan Donald again doing the damage, tempting in that side-off stump. Flintoff going for a pair, and England had lost 3 wickets with just 2 runs. Nasser Hussain went just 6 short of his century. He nudged one to Cronje as Pollock and Donald took England apart. His disappointment at not reaching his 8th century was obvious. Donald took Cork for 10, Boucher gratefully accepting the catch. 6 England wickets had fell in just 59 balls, and just 34 runs had been added as Donald took 5 for 71, Gough the last man to go. England needed an early breakthrough. It was Gough who provided it. Jerry Liebenberg trapped in front, although there was more than a suspicion of an edge. Gough claimed his 2nd wicket of the innings soon after, as England began to work their way through the South African order. Atherton holding on to a low one to dismiss Kirsten. The tourists 12 for 2. Callis was the next to go. He'd made just 3 before Fraser had him LBW. The South Africans lost their captain in controversial circumstances. Cronje didn't think he'd made the edge. The replay tends to agree. South Africa 12 for 4. They'd lost 3 wickets without adding a run. Gough caught Culligan in front for a duck as England continued to turn the screw. But Brian McMillan and Jonty Rhodes together started the fight back. Both regularly found the boundary. Rhodes cleared it to reach his 50, smashing Salisbury into the crowd. McMillan soon had his half-century, hitting 7 fours on his way to 50. Cork earned England the all-important breakthrough. McMillan skying one to Stewart. He went for 54. Soon after, Jonty Rhodes became Darren Gough's 100th Test wicket. Andrew Flintoff making his most important contribution of the match. Rhodes gone for a magnificent 85. As England began to run out of overs, Gough claimed his 101st Test wicket. Mark Boucher given LBW. Gough ending the day with figures of 5 for 36. Andy Houlihan, Sky News.
This is why you play Test cricket in front of your own crowd, to get 5 for and be satisfied with the way I've bowled. It's a brilliant day for me.
That first spell was pretty special, wasn't it? 3 wickets bowling from your favourite end up the hill from the rugby stand.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the worst I felt in the match, my first spell, and I ended up getting 3 wickets, so I don't really mind that. But all the bowlers worked hard, and we've worked for each other and created chances for each other, and that's especially as the ball was so soft from the 30th over onwards.
And you've had to work pretty hard, haven't you, on what has been the hottest day of the summer?
Yeah, that's what it's been hard, because we've really had to hit the pitch with a soft ball, and we've not got much really. It's not really gone up and down like it did this morning, and we need to get to the new ball tomorrow without getting too many runs, and hopefully we can have 2 or 3 overs with the new ball at them.
Now, with the adrenaline flowing like it was there any chance of you wanting to stay out there and try and win things tonight?
No, we was always coming off there. I mean, all the bowlers worked hard. We were really tired. You could see that. Angus, Corky and myself, we bowled long spells, and I think we're glad to come off and come back tomorrow where the pictures, like I say, it's another day, isn't it, really?
Victory by 23 runs. It's the first time England have won a 5-match series for 12 years. Our sports correspondent, Kevin Geary, was at Headingley for the final overs.
A Monday morning in Leeds can seldom have been more keenly anticipated. Virtually a full house at Headingley, lured by the prospect of a thrilling finale and free admission, which always helps. Expectancy of an England victory hung as heavy as the muggy air, but the spectre of defeat still lurked too, with every South African run tautening nerves. After all, they'd set out needing only 34 more. Then, with 25 of them still required, faithful Fraser delivered the goods again. English cricket, so long in the doldrums, so overshadowed by other sporting spectacles this cool, cloudy summer, has suddenly rediscovered its compelling excitement, and with the spotlight upon it. Fitting then that Darren Gough, as ebullient a local hero as you'll find, should seal a famous victory with his 6th wicket.
Oh, given him LBW.
Emotions unleashed, souvenir stumps plucked and bagged, pitch invaded with stewards overwhelmed like sandcastles on a beach. English cricket's not seen a similar conclusion to a major series since Australia in 1986. And at last, the sight of an English captain holding aloft Test match silverware, one against one of the strongest sides in the world in what was often an epic tussle.
I knew it would be a tough job. South Africa, to me, are in the top 3 sides in the world, and we weren't in that top 3, but we played exceptionally well throughout the series, and today we deserve to win it.
I've played obviously 24 Test matches and we've won 1 series in New Zealand, but this is a great victory to do it in front of our public. We're just so proud that people here are behind us, support us. The crowd here today were brilliant. I'd just like to thank them.
For the South Africans, defeat was a bitter pill, having led the series and almost having gone 2-0 up, but they took it commendably.
Obviously both teams wanted to win, wanted to play well. This was a key game for both teams, and there was a bit more needle in this game than probably in the others, and it was good to see that both teams dished it out and took it quite well, and that's the way it should be played.
So at long last, after 12 years, England have won a major series, and they've also discovered a resilience which will serve them well in Australia this winter. But perhaps most important is the fact that if they have a winning team to follow, people still have a very great appetite for cricket. Kevin Geary, BBC News, Headingley.